Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth, and every single episode of the Stand Up Speakeasy, I bring a guest on from the Central Time Zone because I was supposed to go on tour and interview all the comics, but COVID hit, and figured this is the next best thing, so I'll just do this. So, with that being said, the next comic that I'm interviewing is Mike Honore, and I got to listen to his album Splendid Afternoon. And if you haven't listened to it yet, I highly recommend it. And he's based out of Baton Rouge. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mike Honore. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good, as well as anyone can be during these trying times.
Indeed, it's pretty interesting times indeed. Yep. So, how's Baton Rouge during the whole pandemic?
Definitely. Uh, Louisiana as a whole is not doing great. We keep um, we keep going backwards and everything. Uh, One thing about Louisiana, people love to party, so they refuse to like quarantine. So it's just setting everybody back, which only makes it worse for anybody trying to actually do something.
I agree. They do that here in Florida too, and they just don't care anymore. They just party, do open mics, do comedy shows. It's just like we're never gonna get through this.
No, but it's fine. It's steps. Some people still have they find ways around it when they can, but it's usually just kind of going back in time, just waiting it out and trying to behave till everything's better.
Most definitely, indeed. And you've done shows before the pandemic in New Orleans and Atlanta and Las Vegas. What are some of your favorite stories from those cities?
It's always something. Vegas was fun. Vegas is a different. There's just a lot of going on. It's I don't know. Vegas. I like Vegas a lot because it's one of those towns where if you want to get into a lot of trouble, you can. But if you don't have to. You can just. I just did some simple open mics, nothing crazy, and some other a couple shows somebody put me on. New Orleans is always fun. I mean, anybody knows New Orleans. It's kind of the same thing as Vegas, but more humidity, basically. Um, you can you can get into anything. It's a good time. You know, everything everybody loves about it. It can party, it can relax, but the scenes are usually really good. New Orleans has a lot of tourists, so you get a lot of people who come to see comedy or just have need to find something else to do when they don't want to go on Bourbon Street, basically. So, it's good. It's nice to have go to towns where they have things going on and like to see comedy.
Indeed. And how was Atlanta?
Atlanta's fun. Atlanta's bigger than I mean I don't realize how big it is until I was actually there. It's a lot. They have so many shows, comedy, just so many comedy shows, so many things like um, all over the city. The city's huge, so you can always find something. I like Atlanta scene a lot. There's a lot going on, and people are there's good people who's willing to like get some out of towners in there and find some new talent and see some people who just want to perform.
Most definitely. I love that city too. I When I was on tour, I went and did the Relapse Theater, and that was before it closed. And man, that venue was amazing.
Yeah, that whole
But
place. It's got a lot of them. Like it was a Highland Ballroom was one of them that did that. It was like old Smith's bar, some old bar they had that was open until super late. The show doesn't start till 1 o'clock or something.
wow,
That was a lot of fun. Like it was just a good time. They'll have to drop in every once in a while, but it's just that's a good time. I'd like to get back whenever we're allowed.
most definitely, indeed. And you've also been a featured performer at the Memphis Comedy Festival and at Altercation Fest in Austin. So shout out to JT Habersat there.
JT Habersat, good dude, man. He tried to put together this year. Things got crazy. Man, that's a fun fest to go to. Altercation's great. JT's good people, man. I love that dude. He's a good dude.
Most definitely. And how about the Memphis Comedy Festival? What were those times like?
Those are great. I like this. It's a Memphis is a it's I'm from Baton Rouge. I mean from Baton Rouge, so it's not a ton going on. It's just a few other towns. Memphis is nice. You don't realize the history behind it until you get there. It's just whole city just has so much going on. I went to the Stacks Museum. It's Martin Luther King. Just ugh, that was a lot to take in. Elvis. It's where I didn't realize how I didn't grow up with Elvis, so I didn't realize how much everybody in Memphis loved Elvis, and also who didn't. Some people just don't care that Elvis is even from there. But, yeah, that's a great. Memphis has a good scene. They got a lot going on too. Um, it's just I can like Memphis here. Yeah, it's just a lot going on in the town too. So, um, man, that's a fun town. I want to go back. I like that festival a lot. I the show I did, I featured. Um, I was featured on a show with Dolce Sloan. She's on like the Daily Show now. And she's great. That was a lot of fun. It's a great
Well,
town to go to whenever. I recommend it.
me too. Like I before I moved, like on the way to Florida, I we stopped there and spent time with family, and they have like really good barbecue, and
Yeah.
I remember some spots there, and I got to see Graceland, and
Hmm.
such a great city, most
Yeah.
definitely. And so
Yeah.
you've also you're also a member of the Family Dinner Improv Troupe.
Hmm.
Been doing improv and movie spoofs for over 15 years. What are some of your favorite memories from spoofing movies and doing improv there?
I love improv. I've been doing improv longer than I've been doing stand up. It's a good way to live in the moment and with everything right then. I think it helped me a lot with stand up too, like especially with crowd work. You're just able to think on your toes and think quickly and be able to like keep a show moving and come up with something on the spot. The movie spoofs are fun. I don't know how many people have seen like Mr. Science Theater 3000, but that's kind of what we do. Some of those are we have a lot of times where the audience is really into a movie we're doing, so they're reciting lines behind us, and that's always it's a lot of fun. It can get a distracting, but it's still fun. Like how much they love it, and then we cut in clips, and then we say we do our improv over, and that's always yeah, yeah. Everybody likes it, and we get good turnouts for it. It's at a really nice theater here in town, the band ship. So we get a good turnout, good crowd, a lot of positivity behind it.
Most definitely. And your debut album called Splendid Afternoon, is now streaming on all streaming platforms. And I made sure I put Amazon on there, iHeart Radio, Spotify. They're all listed below. And you got to listen to this album because it's really great. Like my favorite joke on there is the Candyman joke. It, and like I tweeted it out to Tony Todd who played Candyman, and then I tweeted it to all the cast members and everyone, and they give it like a like and a retweet and all that stuff. So, man, it was such a great album. Like, what was that energy like in that room when you recorded Splendid Afternoon?
It was real good. Like it was um I mean nobody's in town that ever really done a comedy album. So nobody really knew what to expect. So we got a good turnout for it. Yeah, yeah, it turned out really well. Like it was put together well. The audience was into it. We were able to, they seemed like they knew automatically how to act for an album recording. Like they knew the moments to like laugh harder at a joke. Because I mean that's the album. You got to hit the highs and lows. So they were laughing really good here. The quiet part. So and then the recording. Jason P. Leonard out of Lafayette did the recording. He did a great job. I mean, professional, so good. It turned out really good. I'm proud of it. I think it's nice, especially now when there's a lot going on, to like have to point that to somebody, be like, I did this, so check this out before I come back. Give it, check it out. So I'm proud of it. It turned out really good. The audience was great. It was a lot of love. A lot of that news really came through for that one. To show to live on.
Indeed, I interviewed Mr. Leonard, and man, he's a really great guy. And so his interviews on here too. So one heck of a
Yeah,
guy, most
yeah.
definitely.
He's good people. I can't wait to go back and do shows in Lafayette. It's like an hour away from here. So just I think that's my favorite place, favorite city in Louisiana to do shows. I'm from Baton Rouge, but Lafayette's just got a great turnout, it's a great location. The people are beautiful. Uh, Good time.
Wow, that's good to know for sure. Indeed. And Mike, when I was gonna plan on going on tour, I was hoping to interview with these set of questions that ask all the comics that I've ever interviewed, and there's like 500 of them. That's on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, I'll jump into those. And so, what inspired you to perform stand up?
Uh, I was I was doing improv. A friend of mine, Adam Wilson, also did improv, and he started doing stand up in town. Uh, and he told me I should do it, and I decided I'm gonna try it. And then I went up the first and didn't go up actually. I just went, and everybody else was so good. I was like, I'm not ready. So I took another week and came back and started. I performed like a little, 3 minutes the first time, and like it went over. Really enjoyed it. I started working at it, and it's just something I haven't stopped. I've just been doing since.
Most definitely. And what was the feeling like when you first performed stand up?
Ah, yeah, it was different because I performed improv like I said, and it was an ensemble cast, so that was just me uh, telling jokes. It was I wasn't unfamiliar with being funny. I just didn't know the format personally as much as I'd even watched it. And as soon as I did it, it was just it just made sense. It was good. I mean, it just made like all right. I like this. I like performing and being able to see people's response. It's something that I've actually put some thought into and worked out.
Indeed. And other than Splendid Afternoon, what are your other favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums?
Oh, I go back to old ones a lot too. I mean, these old Richard Pryor records, uh, Eddie Murphy stuff. Red Fox. I throw in there. Some of the newer stuff I really love, like what I listen to recently. Bill Burr is great. Kyle Kinane, his last album is crazy good. That's one of those recent albums where I've listened to like, all right, I need to step my game up. Like, especially now when nobody's performing and he puts out that, it's a lot. I like Sugar too. I just like the things. There's some yeah, there's a lot of good albums out. You can find them. Uh, but yeah, those I've been listening to repeatedly. Patton Oswalt, just require a little more thinking to like
Most definitely. And a couple of those guys are on TV and film, and I want to know what your favorite sitcom, sketch shows, and comedy films are.
those. I mean, I'm not much. I don't watch a lot of current sitcoms. They don't really go on. I still go back to watching Martin is always fun. You can't really beat that. Stand up specials, it's kind of the same ones. Um, any of the same albums I listen to, I watch this special. Um, just yeah, with Bill Burr, Tom Segura, Dave Chappelle, of course. All of his everything he puts out is it's not even it's less about comedy now and more about just being prolific, but it's still just it hits right where it needs to. So I can watch those all day. I'll go back and watch Dave Chappelle, but not the TV show because we can't watch that.
Yeah, we have to boycott that because that's what Chappelle said. Indeed. And favorite,
Get that man his money. Get that man his money.
absolutely. And what's your favorite comedy films?
Films. I kind of like some. I guess more older films. Um, I like bad movies too. Honestly, I like the ones that people don't like. I watch Soul Plane repeatedly. I don't care. That's just good. Uh, Eddie Murphy always. Eddie Murphy movies always get me. I can watch any of them. Trading Places, uh, Vampire in Brooklyn. Like people talk about Norbit. Norbit's a great movie. I don't know why people hate that movie so much, but I like that movie a lot. I can watch those. Beverly Hills Cops. All those.
Indeed. And if you can go on tour with any comedian locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Locally, well, see, I mean, I'd like to take. I have my friends. I'd like to take everybody from Baton Rouge on tour. Honestly, like, I think we could load up a bus with about 8 to 10 of us and just tour and kill it. It's a lot of good dudes, man. We're just everybody who even moved away. Let's get them back, and we're just calling Louisiana tour. Um, yeah, it's a lot of people. I mean, yeah, you interview uh, Robert Allen Hall, so he's a good dude. I like him a lot. He be there. Josh Watts, Howard Hall, uh, uh, just oh man, these are all yeah. Chase Myers, just all these guys. Terrence Lane, Omar, Finley, like just Baton Rouge. I picked 10. Will Merrill. I'm just throwing names out if you're listening. It's gonna be okay. The Baton Rouge comics just get us all together. I think we can go to any city and we do really well. Uh, Internationally, of course, I'd like to get on with Chappelle. That'd be fun. Uh, or Chris Rock. That'd be a lot. I'd like to see that. I want to get on with that. They get a lot of people. Seinfeld. Yeah, I want to get some Seinfeld money. That'll be real good.
Indeed. And if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five, past and present, which ones would you like to get roasted by?
Would I want to get roasted by?
Mhm.
Oh man, uh, I want Patrice O'Neill. Uh, I wanted he destroyed it. I think probably Richard Pryor. That'd be fun. Uh, I want get Red Fox to make fat joke. That'd be fun too. Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking about all the ones who roast me. I'm like, but I'm a fan. Don't do that. Um, uh, who's this? Wait, I don't know. Probably like Barry Mack. That'd be good. And DL Hughley. I like. I feel like they just cut to the quick. But like they're not trying to hurt your feelings, but they are trying to hurt your feelings. Like it's kind of like
And
you can stand it. If you can't, then you need to leave.
most definitely. And if you, where do you see your comedy career in the next 5 years?
I'd like to do at some point. I'd like to do more touring. I'd like to do more festivals. I'd like to make some real money off of it. Um, Maybe another album would be great. Get a wider release. Maybe another like a special that gets seen by more people. Maybe do some writing. I wouldn't mind doing some writing for some shows. Just like doing some punch up work sounds great to me. I always want to get. I'm good at punch ups, so I'd like to get a script and be like, all right, here's where we can add some funny to it. Here's where we can really make it hit right here. I think that's a lot of fun is making a joke, having a joke or having material and then making it funnier or better or more relevant or whatever needs to be done.
Most definitely. And you've done improv with the troupe, and which other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into, like sketch, directing, like you mentioned, comedy writing with the punch ups and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to do some writing. We used to do sketch comedy. I'd like to do more sketch. More sketch, more film stuff. Probably just like better production film stuff. Um, with some actual sets and script work. Um, yeah, more of that. Just more a little more behind the scenes. I don't know if I'm ready for directing or producing anything. Like I think I need more work. But I think in the future maybe. Yeah, if I can. I've never been a good in charge guy like to direct, but I think I have a good eye. So I think I could be useful.
Indeed. And let's see here. What is your favorite joke a comic's ever written?
Uh, I still laugh every time I hear the Aunt Bunny joke. I don't know. Like I can't. It's like she's Bigfoot. Like I can't not laugh at that ever. Like it's the wife of Bigfoot. Like every time I hear, or when she falls down the stairs, that whole bit from Delirious is just wow. It's just so good.
Indeed, I love that special too. And
Yeah.
what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
I just like them to know that I'm funny. I love comedy. I love making people laugh. Give me a chance. I'm gonna make you laugh. It's gonna be you're gonna enjoy yourself. I think I feel like sometimes my jokes can be a little I don't want to say a slow burn, but they're not like just in your face jokes. So give it a time, give it a second, listen. Do that with all comics. Listen to them a little while, give them a chance. Go see it. Go see comedy when it's allowed and experience it. And it's better. It's better in person. It really is.
Most definitely. And Mike, for this next section, I want to know, since Robert Allen Hall recommended you to be on my show, I wanted to see if you can pass it forward to more Baton Rouge comics. And Which Baton Rouge comics would you like to see on a future show of the stand up speakeasy?
I'd like to see. I mean, I got just our local guys. We got Terrence Delane. He's a good guy. Omar Finley. They actually co-run some shows in town. Will Merrill. The dude's great. He's one of my favorites in town for sure. I have a friend who's from here, lives in Seattle. Chase Myers. He's doing good work. He was getting a lot of shows. And he has a podcast too and a YouTube with his friend who I'd also recommend, Josh Watts. It's called Buckets of Ducats. Those two dudes are funny together, man. It's a lot. It's they're funny. Like they're just hilarious. Uh, but yeah, those guys are great, and I think Baton Rouge and our local scene has a lot of talent that just doesn't get the exposure because we're in South Louisiana. So any exposure we can get them on for is godly.
Indeed, and that's what I'm here for, is to put you all on the map because I love comedians. I'm one too, and so I'm like every little bit of help with press is good stuff for everyone. So, and I'm hoping this will be on your press kit soon and all that good stuff. And I'll send you the link as soon as I publish everything together and make it all fancy for you. And with that being said, be sure to follow Mike on all the social media platforms scrolling on the bottom there, and donate to all that good stuff that he has going on with Cash App and all that stuff, and send him some money because some of us comics are out of work at the moment. Most of us are, and so every little bit helps, and all that good stuff. So there's his Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. So with that being said, Mike, are there any final words you'd like to give to the audience at home?
Uh, uh, be patient. Wear your mask. Stop getting sick. We want to do shows again. You want us to do shows again. I promise. When this is all over, when you're finally allowed out of your house, go see comedy. Go see all of us. We want to see you. We miss you. We love you.
Absolutely, indeed. And Mike, if I can, after the show, I'll have to have you help me out with the spelling of everyone's names, so that way I don't mess it up and reach out to the wrong people. That would
I
help me
got
out
you.
tremendously. And also, Mike, thank you so much for being a guest on my show on the Stand Up Speakeasy. For myself, from Mike, and the Stand Up Speakeasy, we'll see you next time, and have a great